से जानना चाहता हूं कि लैटरल एंट्री वाले प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस के लिए कोई न्यूनतम शैक्षिक योग्यता होगी या नहीं और किन किन विषयों पे यह लैटरल एंट्री अलाउ करने का सरकार का प्लान है।
Honorable member has raised a relevant question. So, regarding this, Ministry of Education has already framed guidelines in the year 2015, and इसके बारे में what is the purpose of this? The purpose is to encourage quality and involvement of academicians, scholars, practitioners, policy makers, and to make a robust collaboration between the academia and industry. And in these, definitely there are some guidelines, and the guidelines are, usually they have to be reputedly qualified. It may be they may have MTech or PhD, but they should have the experience of 15 years. They may be reputed scientists, scholars, industrialists, and primarily they have to take the decision from the department. Then department will send it to a committee, and the committee is consisting of the director of the institution, head of the concerned department, dean, and the dean research and consultancy, dean academic affairs, representative of the Senate from the postgraduate institution. And this is a robust mechanism, and it does not hamper the sanctioned post of the UGC. This is very important.
Thank you. Second supplementary.
मेरा दूसरा सवाल यह है सरकार से कि इस संबंध में फैकल्टी रिक्रूटमेंट के रूल्स और को रिवाइज करने के लिए कोई कमेटी का गठन हुआ है? यदि हाँ, तो इसका ब्यौरा क्या है और ये रिपोर्ट कब तक आ जाएगी?
Honorable Minister.
हाँ, Honorable सभापति महोदय, माननीय सदस्य, he has expressed his anxiety, but I have already given the answer in my previous answer. There is a definitive mechanism by the Ministry of Education guidelines and also from the University Grants Commission. And there is a committee, the departmental procedure, and they will send. And everything is in this. What will be, how many times he has to come, and what will be his remuneration, that remuneration on the visit basis, and extreme limit, maximum limit, it should not cross 1,20,000 per month.
Thank you. Shri M. Thambudireji.
Chairman, sir, the minister explained and give the detail regarding the qualification of the professors appointing the universities. Sir, there is a danger in this, what the minister's policy said, because the qualification is very important. MA or MSc or BTech, MTech, PhD. PhD is the very essential thing for teaching profession, because teaching profession involves the research also. That aptitude must be there, that qualified person to come and teach. Sir, industry experience may be there. Nowadays, even IAS officers, so many people are getting PhD. There are chances
All
to get
member,
PhD.
the question, please.
Therefore, sir, I'm telling you, sir, when there is a chance for getting such kind of PhD qualification, the experience can be, you can relax. Which teaching experience? The industry experience you can take. Suppose if it in agriculturist, somebody is there, he is also doing that, without thinking whether you will appoint as a professor there, an agriculture man in that department. Therefore, it's a dangerous thing. Qualification PhD must be essential, encouraging, but the experience is different, which can be relaxed, that can be used for the industry or any other person. Whether the minister will consider on this, sir.
Honorable Minister.
I would like to clear the honorable senior member. He has raised a good question, but at the same time, we have made a robust mechanism. How? That they should have the degree, but we have given the relaxation for what? They may not have PhD, but they have the vast experience. And the purpose of this is there should be, let me finish, there should be the bonding between academia and the industry. And the requirement of the industry should be known to the academician. And similarly, not only it is a one-way traffic, sir, this is a both-way traffic. Even the academia can go to the industry so that industry may be enriched.
Thank you. Shri S. Selva Ganapati ji.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. The Minister has given clear view that the selection is being done by the committee. My question is, how do the committee evaluate the teaching ability and how do they follow any selection procedure? Even the PhD holders are expected to clear UPSC without any educational background. And how are they being selected by the committee? What is the procedure is being followed?
Honorable Shahapati Mahoday, Honorable Member has raised a good question. Definitely, selection process is a very well experienced and well examined. First of all, the respective department of the institution will take the names, and their names will be given to a committee. And committee is consisting of director from the institute, head of the concerned department. They will not any anpar admi ko nahi lenge. Who is in the industry and well educated and well experienced, at least 15 years experience. And they are reputed in their field, in the science, arts and everywhere, and the scholars. But at the same time, during teaching, yes, what you Honorable Member has expressed his anxiety, that is regarding the teaching will be done by the academician and the professor of practice.
Thank you.
Professor of practice and professor of the theory. Both will teach the students.
Thank you. Dr. V. Sivadashan ji.
UGC has reduced lot of
Microphone, please. There's a microphone next. Yeah.
UGC
Sir,
has,
please repeat again, sir.
respected chair, UGC has reduced lot of fellowship, including SC/ST fellowship, minority fellowship, and S. Radhakrishnan fellowship. This kind of fellowship already has been reduced. So, my question: whether government has any plan to restore this fellowship? This is my question. If government is restored, that will help the student community.
Honorable Minister.
He has expressed regarding the fellowship, but today's question is on the professor of practice and adjunct professors. I will give it to the members separately.
Question 287, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji.
Question number 287.
Honorable Minister. First supplementary.
एक अच्छी बात है कि फीमेल पार्टिसिपेशन रेट बढ़ रहा है एजुकेशन में भी, स्किल में भी और एम्प्लॉयमेंट में। तो मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि पिछले 7 सालों में कितने नए आईटीआई या महिला कितनी सीट्स बढ़ी आईटीआई में और वोकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स?
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर।
हमारे माननीय सीनियर संसद सभ्य श्री ने महिलाओं में रोजगारी और एजुकेशन बढ़े, इसलिए बहुत ही अच्छा आज सवाल पूछा है। जैसे महिलाओं के लिए स्पेशल वुमेन आईटीआई, नेशनल वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग सेंटर, रीजनल वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग सेंटर मोस्ट ऑफ ब्लॉक लेवल पे और डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे हमने खोल दिए और उसके बाद वो ट्रेन होके अपनी तरीके से वो आत्मनिर्भर बने, इसलिए एक सब जगह हमने मोस्टली आईटीआई खोल दिया। फिर भी कोई जगह अगर नहीं है तो माननीय संसद सभ्य से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि वो अपनी डिमांड मुझे मंत्रालय में भेज दे, मैं वहाँ ओपन करवा दूंगा।
सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री।
ITI में फिर से एक बार सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं कि अगर जानकारी है, नहीं तो बाद में लिखित भी दे सकते हैं कि कितने नए ITIs खुले, क्योंकि बहुत खुले हैं, और इसमें महिला सीट्स कितनी बढ़ी है, क्योंकि दैट टेल्स द स्टोरी ऑफ व्हाट हैज एक्चुअली हैपेंड ऑन ग्राउंड.
Honorable Minister.
Your permission, sir, firstly, let me compliment you for your diligent service to the House.
Thank you.
And as the erudite senior colleague knows, that this government is committed to emancipation of women, especially through skilling. And skilling has various components to it. Apart from the intervention by the government under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Yojana, there is over 6 million women who have not only been trained through ITIs, but also the Honourable Member has served our country as Minister Education and knows that such services have been provided for skilling through commissions such as the UGC with BVOC, which has been the Bachelor of Vocational Studies, which has been professed through various universities and college systems in our country. Insofar as skilling, one of the greatest skill sets today in modern India that women particularly can celebrate is the digital literacy campaign that the Honourable Prime Minister has started under a program called PM Disha, where over 4 crore Indians have been digitally made literate, of which 54% are women. The Honourable Member has also positioned himself to support emancipation of women economically, and hence would like to celebrate the fact that this is a government which for the first time has ensured gender responsive procurement, so much so that now PSUs in our country have been directed that up to 3% of their procurement has to be done from female entrepreneurs, including GEM, which has now over 1.2 lakh women who are registered as entrepreneurs so that they can sell their wares to governments at the center and in the state.
Mananiya Mausam Noorji.
Sir, a recent study has shown that 21% of India has one of the lowest female participation rates in the world, which is quite concerning. So many women in the country work in farming, help the grocery store, work at home for their families, and this is unaccounted for in the stream of economy. So my question would be, what are the steps taken to recognize the unpaid labor of women who work full-time at home or outside?
Honorable Minister.
The Honourable Member, sir, highlights a conversation that has been an issue of reflection for many research bodies, think tanks, and also esteemed Member of Parliament, apart from those who serve across various governance and administration levels in our country. That unpaid work needs to be economically supported is an issue of great deliberation and debate. For instance, what is it that is denoted as unpaid work? The level of care a mother gives to a child. Now, as a mother to 2 children, can you economically quantify the amount of time I spend or the love and care that I give to a child? That is why today, when we talk about unpaid work, it varies from the amount of time a woman spends giving to her own husband. It varies from the amount of time she gives to her own children or to the elders in the family. However, much has been debated on this and needs to be recognized that wherever there are formal opportunities of recognizing female labor participation, the government has been more than aggressive. For instance, today, if you look at Manrega, out of the 193 crore person days of work that has been generated, I can proudly say that over 54% of those who have been employed are women. When I spoke about GEM registrations and 1.2 lakh women who have been receiving opportunities to engage with regards to their enterprise with the governments at the center of the state, I'm also mindful of a senior colleague who's seated right behind me, who supports ably under the leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister self-help groups in the country, where over 7 million self-help groups have received over 5 lakh crores of rupees so that at the grassroots they can give birth to enterprise.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Srimati Sampatia Uikeji.
मैं आपके माध्यम से जानना चाह रही थी माननीय मंत्री जी से कि मुद्रा लोन योजना के तहत पे आदिवासी महिलाओं के लिए कोई विशेष प्रावधान एवं छूट रखी गई है क्या, ताकि वे इस योजना का लाभ ले सकें? धन्यवाद.
Honourable Minister.
The Honourable Member would be happy to know that of the 32 crore loans that have been given under the Mudra Yojana, 68% of beneficiaries have been women, predominantly from the SC/ST community and minority families. It is a matter of great joy, sir, particularly because before 2014, when we spoke about female enterprise in our country, one of the greatest challenges that begot women who wanted to be entrepreneurial was the access to credit. It is a compliment to the Honorable Prime Minister's leadership that over 23 crore women, for the first time in their lives, now have access to a bank account. They have approached formal banking institutions, presented their business plans, and received 68% of the support out of the Mudra Yojana, which was not gender inclined, however, was to support small businesses. And sir, through you, I'd like to tell the House and the rest of the country that when you look at NPAs, women have had less than 1% NPAs. So it is great investment when you support a woman financially.
Shri M.M. Abdullah ji. Pani Abdullah ji.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, sir. My sub-question arises from the Minister's answer on question number 287C, whether the Union Government evaluation of benefits occurred to women due to Mudra, that the Shishu category sufficiently support the development of the micro enterprises sector. Thank you.
Reflection of the honourable member, because I think it brings to light a debate that is much needed in the country. Should we suffice and take glory in only the entry-level flooding that we see in the SME segment? I think our ambition now as a nation should be that we help women transition from the SME segment to mid-sized companies. And for that, the government has ensured that under the Stand Up India Yojana, women get, particularly in every district, there has been an intervention of the Honourable Prime Minister that up to 1 crore loans to be given to such female enterprises by every bank. And I'm proud today to say that even in Stand Up India program, 80% of the beneficiaries today are the women of India.
Question 288. Not present. Honourable Minister. Manya Shri KTS Tulsi ji, your question. No, your supplementary questions.
Mine is 288.
Supplementary.
No, your supplementary question, sir. 288, it's Sushil Kumar Gupta ji, he's not present. You have asked for a supplementary.
Everybody knows that the existing norms in India with regard to safety of cars are non-existent. We have only the global new car assessment program to lean on, but we need to have Bharat new car assessment program. Only
I think
then
the microphone is not. Is your microphone on?
Sufficient safety.
The microphone.
इधर आ जाओ.
आगे आ जाओ. आप आगे आ जाइए. You are not on. Yeah, now it's on. Now it's on.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. So the safety norms in India with regard to cars, new cars, are virtually non-existent. The global new car assessment program is not followed, and Bharat new car assessment program is yet to come in. This becomes important because for the safety of occupants and pedestrians. It is a matter of great regret that in 2009, India witnessed record pedestrian deaths at 25,858.
Question, please.
And this will happen only. When are we going to have the Bharat new car assessment program?
Honourable Minister.
The norms are already notified by Ministry of Road Transport, and Bharat NCAP will be above and over crash standards, will improve competition. Honorable Chairman, sir, all over in the world, in South Korea, USA and European countries, they have already standards are already fixed. Now this is the need of the hour. Honorable member is absolutely correct. Every year we are facing 5 lakhs accidents and 1,50,000 deaths. For that reason, we are now taking a lot of measures. That is compulsory 6 airbags now mandatory, and by which it can be for road safety point of view is very important. We have taken a decision to make it mandatory for economic models also. I am giving you just a chart. The 25,289 people were killed in head-on collision in 2020, and 30% of lives in frontal collision can be saved by airbags alone. So that's the reason we have instructed the order. In 2020, 8,598 lives could have been saved in head-on collision with the use of airbags. Similarly, side collision caused 14,271 deaths. 31% of lives could be saved by the use of side airbags, and 424 lives could have been saved in 2020 with the use of side airbags. A total of 13,022 lives could have been saved. The functional airbags were present in the vehicle involved in frontal and side crashes. Sir, I want to explain properly that we are taking, as far as this Bharat NCAP, we are going to start it, we are in the process, we are already notified. By which structural safety, the stiffness of the vehicle structure, safety of adult occupant, crash test, safety of child occupant, safety of the child placed in a child seat, assessment of car for pedestrian-friendly design, bonnet and bumper design, provision of active and passive safety assist technologies, 6 airbags, 3-point seat belts, seat belt alert, electronic stability control, anti-lock braking system. Sir, by all this reason, we want to protect the life of the people, and that is the reason that we are now going to start this rating system in India, which is going to improve qualitatively the automobile sector of the country. At the same time, it will be more useful to make more export from the country, create more employment potential and a growth for the country.
Thank you. Mananiya Shri Kamakhya Prasad Tasaji, you have asked for a supplementary question of 288. Okay, you're not. Mananiya Shrimati Rupa Ganguly ji.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, for allowing me to ask this supplementary question. ये BH सीरीज के बारे में बहुत जानकारी लेना था, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा सर. बहुत सारे मैं खुद वेबसाइट में गई, लॉगिन करने की कोशिश की, तो नई गाड़ी की तो अब 21 के बाद से शुरू हो चुका. पुराने गाड़ी के बारे में हम लोगों ने क्या सोचा है कि भारत सीरीज में किस तरह से हम पुराने गाड़ी को भी जो 2 साल पुराने, 3 साल पुराने जो उनका इंजन्स अच्छे हैं, कैसे थोड़ा सा डाल सकते हैं, बिकॉज गाड़ी नए है और वो फैसिलिटीज मिल नहीं रहा है, जो मिलेगा नहीं, जो अगर कल नई गाड़ी नहीं खरीदेंगे तो गाड़ी तो नए है सर.
थैंक यू.
थैंक यू सर.
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर.
सर, ये इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एक समय हीरोइन का रोल करने के बाद जब कैरेक्टर एक्टर का रोल करना शुरू होता है तो फिर उसको हीरोइन बनाना मुश्किल हो जाता है. सर, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. These are the rules and regulation for only for new vehicle. For the old vehicle, it is very difficult mechanically to make them competent. सर, हीरो में भी ये होता है, एक बार हीरो का रोल करने के बाद कैरेक्टर रोल करना पड़ता है, फिर हीरो का रोल नहीं मिलता.
माननीय श्री G.K. वासन जी.
Electrical scooters are encouraged because of pollution. People are interested to buy, sir, but sometimes, sir, safety concern is very important. Nowadays, we see a lot of news in the papers that electrical cars and scooters burn suddenly, and 1 or 2 deaths also has been taken place. So, to give confidence level to the public to buy electrical cars and electrical scooters, manufacturers should be doubly, triply careful, sir. The government should take necessary steps for this to give confidence to the people to buy electrical vehicles.
Honorable Minister.
Honorable Chairman, sir, actually for the new electric 2-wheelers, electric 3-wheelers, electric cars, already we have taken decision about the quality, and where we are very much punctual about how we can maintain the safety of the people. And already as far as the star rating, the electrical manufacturer also supposed to make their vehicle up to their standards. And whatever the international standards available in the world, on the same standard, they have to manufacture the vehicle. Either it is electric, either it is petrol, either it is diesel, or either it is on green hydrogen, or any fuel they can use. But the safety standards are already fixed. Sir, actually, last question, my comment was very, it's not against anybody. Don't take it in a light way, sir.
Question 289, Shri John Britas ji.
Question number 289.
Honorable Minister. First supplementary.
Sir, I am disappointed with the answer. As you can see in the answer, under the National Social Assistance Program, that is NSAP, sir, hardly 200 rupees monthly pension is granted to hapless people who are below poverty line. Sir, we all will become old and ill. Sir, you look so young, but one day you will also become aged. And the maturity of the society, will be assessed by the benevolence we show to the old.
Question, please.
Sir, my question is that the 200 rupees pension that has been fixed for those people who are below poverty line has been fixed long back, almost 10 years back. Considering the stagnant position of this pension and inflation, will the government yield to the demand of increase in this meager pension?
Honorable Minister.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, एक वृद्धजनों और दिव्यांग और विधवाओं से संबंधित ये प्रश्न है। माननीय सदस्य ने कहा कि 200 रुपया मैं जब पूरे देश का डाटा देखती हूँ, उसमें महिलाओं को 300, वृद्धा महिलाओं को, विधवा महिलाओं को, दिव्यांगों को 300 और वृद्धों को 200। ये एक सतत प्रक्रिया है, लेकिन मुझे खुशी इस बात की है कि जो राज्य इसमें चाहते हैं बढ़ोतरी, वो बढ़ोतरी करके दे रहे हैं। कई राज्य हैं जहां 2000 से ऊपर दे रहे हैं, कई राज्य हैं 1500 दे रहे हैं, तो राज्य इसमें चाहे तो बढ़ा सकते हैं। लेकिन महोदय, 2011 की जनगणना के अनुसार ये जो पैसा दिया जा रहा है, उसके साथ साथ और भी ऐड हुआ है। मैं बताते हुए मुझे खुशी हो रही है कि 2011 की जनगणना के जो गरीबी रेखा के नीचे लोग थे, उनको मुफ्त में राशन भी दिया जा रहा है, उनको आवास भी दिए जा रहे हैं, उनको गैस सिलेंडर भी दिया जा रहे हैं। उन परिवारों को सशक्त बनाने के लिए सरकार काम कर रही है।
Second supplementary.
So the minister has been trying to say that it's a responsibility of the states. Are they, adding burden of the states without increasing the resource of the states? My question, second supplementary would be like this. Sir, will the government relax the conditions attached to this pension scheme? Now only those people who are under the poverty line are considered. And second thing is that...
One question.
So part B of the question is that the number of people who avail the pension and the yearly allocation for the same.
Honorable Minister.
उपसभापति महोदय, माननीय सदस्य ने जो विषय रखा है, ये विषय बड़ा गंभीर विषय है। भारत सरकार ने इसके लिए थर्ड पार्टी एवल्यूएशन कराया। उन्होंने कुछ टिप्पणियां दी है जो मैं राज्यों के पास भेजा हूं। लाभार्थियों की पहचान बीपीएल के स्थान पर सामाजिक आर्थिक गणना 2011 जो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कास्ट सेंसस, अभी तक हम बीपीएल से करते थे। वित्त पोषण की पद्धति में 100% केंद्रीय पोषण से बदलकर केंद्र और राज्य 60-40 के अनुपात में वित्त पोषण किया जाए और पूर्वोत्तर का जो 90-10 है। मैं आपके सामने यही रखना चाहता हूं आपके माध्यम से कि राज्यों को हमने फरवरी में ये भेजा है। कुछ राज्यों का आया है टिप्पणी। जब ये राज्य के साथ मिलकर के वार्ता होगी, बातें होगी, तो निश्चित रूप से हम कोई नई सीमाओं को तय कर पाएंगे। यही मैं सदन को बताना चाहता हूं।
माननीय विशंबर प्रसाद निषाद जी।
माननीय उपसभापति महोदय, हम लोगों ने देखा है कि जो वरिष्ठ नागरिक हैं जो 60 साल से ऊपर हो जाते हैं, चाहे जिस वर्ग के हों, बुढ़ापे में उनकी संतान भी उनका साथ छोड़ देती है, चाहे किसान हो चाहे अन्य लोग हों। तो हम माननीय मंत्री जी से जानना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि जब चुनाव आते हैं तो उनको वोट के लिए तो उनको तमाम पैसा दिया जाता है। तो जो वोटर्स है जो वोट देता है पॉलिटिशियन को, तो हमारा सवाल ये है कि क्या जो गरीबी रेखा से नीचे जीवन यापन करने वाले वोटर्स हैं, सभी वोटर्स को जो है पेंशन जो है 500 से बढ़ा के 1500 रुपये दी जाएगी?
माननीय मंत्री जी।
पति महोदय, मुझे लग रहा है क्वेश्चन से और चुनाव से जोड़ना उचित नहीं है, क्योंकि हम लोग के मुख्य गरीबी रेखा के नीचे जीने वाले वृद्धों के लिए विषय चला है। और ये बात सही है कि जिन राज्यों में चुनाव होता है वो राज्य अपने स्तर से समझती हैं और उसको ऐड भी करती हैं।
माननीय प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी जी।
Honorable Sir, for allowing me this question. Thanks. Sir, मेरा सवाल बस यही है आपके माध्यम से कि हाई कॉस्ट ऑफ लिविंग, हाई इन्फ्लेशन रेट्स हैं, सीनियर सिटीजन्स जो रिटायर हो गए हैं उनके इंटरेस्ट रेट पे जो इंटरेस्ट रेट है सेविंग्स पे वो भी कम होते जा रहे हैं। क्या केंद्र सरकार इस पे किसी तरीके की स्टेप्स लेगी जिससे आने वाले समय में जो अब बार बार हमें जवाब दे दिया जाता है, जैसे मैं बजट के में भी रिक्वेस्ट की थी, जवाब ये दे दिया जाता है कि बैंक लोन भी तो उपलब्ध हो जाता है कम इंटरेस्ट रेट पर। उस उम्र में सीनियर सिटीजन्स के पास और कोई उपाय नहीं है कि जाकर लोन लें। कैन देयर बी सम मेजर्स दैट आर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू बी एबल टू मेक देयर लाइफ अ लिटिल इजियर कंसिडरिंग द हाई इन्फ्लेशन कॉस्ट एंड लो सेविंग्स इंटरेस्ट?
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर।
पति महोदय, हमारी एक बहन ने क्वेश्चन इस विषय पर पूछा है। रिटायरमेंट होने वालों को तो ऑलरेडी पेंशन मिलती है, चाहे वो राज्य के कर्मचारी हो चाहे केंद्र के कर्मचारी हो। ये शुद्ध रूप से उन लोगों के लिए है जो 2011 की जनगणना के अनुसार है, वो राज्यों को सूचित कर दिया गया।
थैंक यू। माननीय श्री महेश पोद्दार जी।
महोदय, हमारे मंत्री महोदय बहुत सरल हृदय हैं और बड़े दिल वाले हैं। इनके बहुत वक्तव्यों से लगता है महोदय ये योजना सिर्फ उन लोगों के लिए है जो बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन है, पहला। दूसरा, इसमें भी उम्र का भेदभाव, 79 वर्ष तक वालों के लिए 200 रुपया, ऊपर वालों के लिए 500 रुपया। क्या मैं महोदय से आग्रह कर सकता हूं उन गरीबों के लिए, गरीब वृद्धों के लिए, कि कम से कम उम्र की सीमा तो खत्म कर दी जाएगी और वो चाहे जितना देना चाहें एक समान रूप से सारे वृद्धों को, सारे गरीबों को देंगे, जो मोदी सरकार भी इस मामले में बहुत श्रद्धेय है। महोदय।
माननीय मंत्री।
माननीय महोदय, मैंने पहले ही सदन को कहा कि ये फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर की सरकार है और राज्य से हमने मांगा है और राज्यों के साथ मिलकर के जब कोई एक नई स्थिति बनेगा तो जो माननीय सदस्य ने रखा है वो भी उसमें विषय आएंगे। सारी विषयों को समाहित करते हुए राज्य के साथ मिलकर के ही हमें करना होगा, चाहे प्रियंका जी का विषय हो चाहे इनका विषय।
क्वेश्चन 290 श्री सुशील कुमार मोदी जी। Only the question number. Honorable Minister.
सभापति महोदय, उत्तर सदन पटल पर रखा गया है।
First supplementary.
उपसभापति महोदय, मैं माननीय मंत्री से ये आग्रह करूंगा कि there is a 17 seat quota that is known as a sponsoring authority quota in each and every केंद्रीय विद्यालय that is being used by the district collector। ये जो 17 का कोटा प्रति विद्यालय में, हर एक विद्यालय में 5 इन क्लास 1, हर एक सेक्शन में 10 इन ऊपर में एंड 2 डिस्क्रिशनरी कोटा, सो दैट कम्स अबाउट 22,000, जिसमें न तो कोई मेरिट है न कोई रिजर्वेशन है। तो मैं माननीय मंत्री से यह आप को सुझाव देना, आग्रह करना चाहूँगा कि जो 22,000 स्पॉन्सरिंग अथॉरिटी का जो कोटा है, क्या सरकार इसको समाप्त करने का विचार करती है?
माननीय मंत्री जी।
सभापति महोदय, माननीय विद्वान सदस्य आदरणीय सुशील कुमार मोदी जी ने जो चिंता जाहिर की है, निश्चित रूप से समय समय पर ये चर्चा राज्यसभा में भी और लोकसभा में भी उठती रही है, केंद्रीय विद्यालय में नामांकन से संबंधित। और अभी आपने देखा पिछले दिनों लोकसभा में भी ये चर्चा हुई है और आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी के नेतृत्व में उन्होंने नियमन दिया है चेयर से कि सभी नेताओं का, सभी दल के नेताओं के साथ एक विस्तृत इस पर चर्चा होगी और उसके बाद निर्णय लिया जाएगा। तो मैं आज इस सदन के माध्यम से मैं आदरणीय सदस्य से ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि ये लगभग सभी की ये चिंता है, तो विभाग ये तय किया है आपकी सभी के साथ चर्चा करके, और जैसा आप सबका निर्णय होगा विभाग गंभीरता से इस पर विचार करेगी।
महोदय, मैंने जिक्र किया था स्पॉन्सरिंग अथॉरिटी कोटा। दिस इज नॉट एमपी कोटा, दिस इज स्पॉन्सरिंग अथॉरिटी कोटा विच इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एमपी कोटा। मैं सेकेंड सप्लीमेंट्री कि मैं सबसे पहले तो शिक्षा मंत्री को धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा जिन्होंने अपना एमपी कोटा जो था वो उन्होंने एमपी मिनिस्ट्रियल कोटा जो था उसको उन्होंने समाप्त कर दिया है। मैं माननीय मंत्री से यह आग्रह करना चाहूँगा, यह सुझाव देना चाहूँगा
कि एमपी कोटा को बढ़ाना संभव नहीं है, बढ़ा भी देंगे तो भी लोगों की नाराजगी बनी रहेगी। तो क्या सरकार मंत्री कोटा जिसे से समाप्त कर दिया है, उसी प्रकार क्या एमपी कोटा को भी समाप्त करने का सरकार विचार रखती है?
माननीय मंत्री जी प्लीज।
और आपको इस वक्त लिए चलते सीधे विदेश मंत्रालय की महत्वपूर्ण प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की तरफ। और जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि बिम्स्टेक को लेकर आज प्रधानमंत्री ने भी संबोधित किया है और बिम्स्टेक देशों के शिखर सम्मेलन में प्रधानमंत्री वर्चुअली शामिल हुए। श्रीलंका इसकी अध्यक्षता इस वक्त कर रहा है और क्या कुछ कहा जा रहा है एमईए की तरफ से, सुनते हैं।
You'd also seen some of the proceedings were telecast live also. To give us a better sense of what was discussed, the background to it and the quite historic decisions that were taken, particularly with regard to the charter. We have with us Shri Rudrendra Tandon, Additional Secretary, looking after BIMSTEC and SAARC divisions. We will have initial comments from him and then a few questions. So without further ado, let me hand over the floor to Shri Tandon.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. So the Prime Minister has just finished attending the 5th BIMSTEC summit hosted by Sri Lanka. Prior to this summit, there were preparatory meetings at the foreign minister level and the senior official level. This took place on Monday and Tuesday. Secretary Saurabh Kumar and External Affairs Minister Dr. Jai Shankar attended their meetings in Colombo. The theme of this summit was towards a resilient region, prosperous economies, healthy people. This was chosen by the chair. The chair has the prerogative to do so. And it sought to capture the main preoccupations that currently prevail in the political leadership, top political leadership in the region, centered around prosperity, resilience, and public health. This provided the context to several of the interventions that we saw, including that of our Prime Minister. The fourth element of context was the significant achievement of signing the Charter. This, in some sense, caps a process of formalizing this grouping into a proper regional organization. And this was the main outcome of this summit. With the Charter, BIMSTEC now has an international personality. It has an emblem, it has a flag, it has a formally listed purpose and principles that it is going to adhere to, and an architecture. So that represents a fairly significant evolution of this grouping, a process which was happening since 2004 or so, but actually gained a lot of traction after 2014. From our perspective, of course, the signing of the Charter is the most important outcome, but also in line with this development of the organization into a formal structure was the approval granted by leaders to a complete reorganization of BIMSTEC cooperation activities. Henceforth, BIMSTEC cooperation activities will take place in 7 pillars. Each pillar will be led by one of the member states who will be primarily responsible for furthering cooperation. In that reorganization, it was decided that India will lead the security pillar. The third major outcome from our perspective in this summit was the adoption of the master plan on transport connectivity. This is a major agenda on the BIMSTEC platform for several years, but in 2018 summit, it was decided that we will approach this issue more systematically. I think it was a suggestion that came from Thailand to create a master plan, which was worked upon over the last 2 years, and in collaboration with the Asian Development Bank, and was finalized in time for this summit. So what happened at this summit was the leaders adopted this as a kind of framework or guidance for the type of cooperation that we are likely to do in the future, in the connectivity space. In addition to these three major outcomes where the leaders were involved directly, they also witnessed the signing of 3 agreements. Now, this represents incremental progress that is being achieved on this platform in various ongoing areas of cooperation. For your information, there was a MLAT on criminal matters. This emerged out of the discussions in the security pillar that have been taking place in the past. So it represents an incremental progress on that agenda. There was a memorandum of association to create a center for technology transfers. It's called a technology transfer facility, which will be established in Colombo. The third was an MOU for cooperation between diplomatic academies. So all these were witnessed by the leaders, but represent incremental progress being achieved on this platform, which is a good sign in terms of the vibrancy and in terms of the ability of this platform to move ahead. Now, coming to our approach to the summit and the approach of the Prime Minister in particular, in his intervention, you would have heard he spoke about several things, but they were focused on, firstly, the agenda of developing BIMSTEC further. It was, it seemed like the most important, relevant thing to do at this summit because, firstly, we were signing the charter, which caps a long effort to formalize this grouping. So his general approach was to propose to the leaders that we needed to accelerate the pace of this formalization and that we should not rest merely that after signing the charter. He also spoke about several, of the need to move forward, the connectivity agenda, the disaster management agenda, the marine cooperation agenda, the economic integration agenda, and of course parts of our security agenda, which is an essential prerequisite for any sort of constructive economic and development cooperation. Now, in view of the special commitment that India has to developing the BIMSTEC platform further, the Prime Minister used this occasion to also make announcements of some Indian initiatives which we hope will further the BIMSTEC agenda in a more accelerated manner. In this regard, he announced a $1 million ad hoc grant to the BIMSTEC Secretariat's operational budget. Now, the objective of that was to ensure that whatever pending institutional building tasks are taken forward on a rapid basis. He also announced a $3 million grant to revive the BIMSTEC Center for Weather and Climate, which is an important part of the disaster management, disaster risk reduction agenda. He announced with the aim of furthering our economic agenda, economic integration agenda, he announced the establishment of a program that will be run out of ICRIER in India. And the aim of this will be to try and adopt as many international standards and norms for the trade facilitation part of the economic integration. This I can explain later for some of you who may not see the significance of this. He also suggested the institutionalization of the disaster management exercises that we've been holding. India has been holding on its own on this platform in view of the priority that disaster management in general is given on this platform. So, all in all, I think it was a satisfying or a productive summit from our perspective because the BIMSTEC agenda was taken forward. We were able to announce initiatives that will accelerate this process. And our overall takeaway from this summit was that at the top political level, there is great will to move the BIMSTEC agenda forward. And there is also a sentiment that this moving forward has to be done with some urgency given the type of challenges that BIMSTEC member states are facing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll open the floor for some questions. Okay, let me start with you here, and then we'll. Please introduce yourself and the organization for record.
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. Yesterday, the EM had said that the focus was also on countering terrorism. So, how would you throw light on what was said, and also how are they going to fortify the economic tie-up between the member states of BIMSTEC?
Maybe we'll take a few questions together. Yes, Meghna.
Sir, Meghna Dev from DD News. My question is, sir, under the master plan, how many projects are there and amount to what? And also, on which sectors have been given priority under the master plan?
Reza?
Razaul Hassan from the Hindustan Times. Mr. Secretary, I was wondering when you mentioned that India is going to take the lead in the security pillar, if we could get a few specifics. I mean, what are we going to focus on? What are the programs? And on the MLAT, will it, pardon my ignorance, but will it kind of supersede the MLATs we may have with individual countries, or how is it going to function?
Siddhant?
So there has been a certain bit of questions raised over presence of Myanmar. It is a member of the grouping, but there is a leadership change. We know a coup has happened. So what has been the Indian perspective of the presence of the leadership of Myanmar at the BIMSTEC?
Okay, maybe I'll hand over to you for this.
So let me first deal with the agenda items. So on counter-terrorism, the mention of what External Affairs Minister spoke about, and also the question about what will be our approach to the security agenda. So we choose our activities based on the potential and capacities of this platform, right? So you have to match the type of initiatives you take to the capacity of this platform. So currently our approach on the security